I am Shiva Chidambaram from the University of Chicago, and this is a talk for the 14th Algorithmic Number Theory Symposium. So I'm going to be talking about abelian surfaces with fixed three torsion. This is joint work with my advisor Frank Calgary and David Roberts. So let's introduce the main objects of interest. So let C be a smooth genus G curve over Q. One can consider the Jacobian variety associated to C. This is the identity component of the Picard group of C. This is an abelian variety of dimension G. Okay. The most simple examples of abelian varieties are elliptic curves. These are abelian varieties of dimension 1. Okay. They also have another structure. This abelian variety has another structure on it called a principal polarization. This is basically an isomorphism from A to A dual. Okay. So over the complex numbers, any abelian variety is a torus. It is isomorphic to C to the G quotiented by some lattice lambda. And from this description, it is immediate that the P torsion is a 2G dimensional vector space over Fp. The polarization is also going to introduce another structure on the P torsion called the Weyl pairing. So this is a non-degenerate alternating bilinear pairing. Okay. The main thing that we are interested in is how the absolute Galois group of Q acts on the P torsion of A. This action has to be equivariant with respect to the pairing. So we get a representation that lands inside GSP to GFP, the conformal symplectic group. Furthermore, if you compose the representation with the similitude character that goes from GSP to GFP to FP cross, you must get the mod P cyclotomic character. Okay. So you get all of this just from equivariance with respect to the pairing. Okay. So starting from a curve C, we get a representation rho bar. Now it's natural to ask, given rho bar, does there exist a curve C which produces this representation? Okay. Or even one doesn't need to restrict to Jacobians of curves. One can ask, can we parameterize? Can we find all abelian varieties? So all principally polarized abelian varieties of dimension G whose P torsion is the same. Okay. So this is this question as posed here is too general, and so it's hard. One can reasonably hope to answer this only for a very small list of tuples G comma P, which are shown over here. So these are the tuples. These are the only tuples for which the moduli space, this moduli space of abelian varieties of dimension G with full level P structure is geometrically rational. So what does geometrically rational mean? It means that if you base change to Q bar, then your variety becomes rational. That is, it becomes isomorphic to projective n space for some n. Okay, so these are the only tuples D comma P for which that happens. The case of two torsion in elliptic curves is simple, and it has been known for a long time. Rubin and Silverberg worked on these two cases, 3 torsion and 5 torsion of elliptic curves, and they constructed explicit families with fixed P torsion. So today we are going to be talking about this case, 3 torsion in abelian surfaces. Okay. So the main result is this. So we find explicit polynomials capital A, B, C, D in this polynomial ring in 8 variables. You should think about STUV as the parameterizing variables and little a, b, c, d as giving the Weierstrass coefficients of the original GNS2 curve that we start with. Okay. It will be clear in a minute what I mean. Okay. So we get these polynomials, and if you look at C prime given by this equation, this is a family of GNS2 curves over P3, and if you look at the fiber over any rational point, it is a GNS2 curve, and the 3 torsion in the Jacobian of these curves is going to remain the same no matter what rational point you take in P3. Okay. The 3 torsion of the Jacobian remains the same in this family. All right. So the fiber over the point S equals 1, TUV equals 0 is exactly this curve. So this is why I said I will think about little a, b, c, d as giving the Weierstrass coefficients of the original curve. Okay. So in fact, all the GNS2 curves that we will talk about today are going to be of this shape. Okay. So we will call the shape as y squared equals suppressed quintic. Basically because the right hand side is a monic degree 5 polynomial with no x to the 4 term. Okay. All right. So the polynomials that we find are really huge. In fact, D has more than 1 million terms in it. But their coefficients are not too bad. They're all inside this ring Z adjoint 1 over 5. In fact, if you look at the denominators of the coefficients, they all divide 5 to the 5. So they are quite small. Okay, so you may have noticed this asterisk here, and you may also be wondering that I'm only looking at genus 2 curves of the form y squared equals quintic, but that's definitely not all genus 2 curves. A general genus 2 curves of the form y squared equals sextic. So you're right. What we are doing is we are finding all genus 2 curves with a BF stress point. A general genus 2 curve is of the form y squared equals sextic, but a genus 2 curve with a BF stress point is of the form y squared equals quintic, which after doing translation can be written as y squared equals suppressed quintic. Okay. So the full moduli space of all genus 2 curves with 3 torsion given by ρ is not rational in general. Particularly whenever ρ is surjective, this is not rational. Okay. So it's difficult to parameterize all these curves. So what we are doing is we are finding the universal genus 2 curve over the moduli space of genus 2 curves with a BF stress point whose 3 torsion is given by ρ. All right. So there are several nice results that we can derive from our main theorem. So let's say that C has good ordinary reduction at 3, and let's say that its Jacobian satisfies all the technical conditions of this huge paper of Boxer, Calgary, G, and Pironi in 2018, so that C becomes smaller. Okay. Then if I look at the family of genus 2 curves coming from our main theorem with C as the starting curve, okay, and if I look at any other curve in this family, C prime, as soon as it has good reduction at 3, I can immediately say that C prime is also modular. Okay, so the proof of this falls out immediately from these two propositions in this paper. So most of the technical conditions here are about the P torsion of the abelian variety. In our case, P is 3. So it's about the 3 torsion of the variety. In our family, 3 torsion of the Jacobian does not change, right? So C prime automatically satisfies all those conditions. The other condition is that my curve has to have good ordinary reduction at 3. Well, it has good reduction at 3, and it turns out that good implies ordinary immediately in this case, because C has ordinary reduction and they have the same P torsion. Okay, so one nice thing about this corollary is that we can use it to write down explicitly infinitely many modular abelian surfaces. Okay, so if we have one, so we'll call the first, we'll call C, we'll take the initial curve as C. Let's say that has all the nice properties, it's modular. Okay. One way to concretely obtain this other condition of good reduction for other curves in this family is by ensuring that the reduction of C prime at 3 is the same as the reduction of C at 3. Okay. And if you look at all the rational points in P3 that reduce to this point, modulo 3, the fibers over all of these points are going to have this property. Their reduction at 3 is the same as the reduction of C at 3. And so they automatically satisfy the hypothesis of the corollary, and so we get that all of them are modular. Okay. So in some earlier work with Calgary and Gidza, we produced some examples. We wrote down some examples of modular abelian surfaces occurring as Jacobians of genus 2 curves, and we can take one of them as like the starting curve and follow this recipe and end up with infinitely many modular abelian surfaces. Okay, so now let's talk a bit about the idea behind our method. So if you want to study the P torsion Peterson field of an abelian variety, you have to first write down a division polynomial that cuts it out. Okay, so let's say K is the Peterson field. It generically has GABA group GSP to GFP. I'm going to think about K as the regular representation of the GABA group. And the roots of this division polynomial are not going to be some random elements inside K. They're going to generate a sub-representation of small dimension usually. Okay. And in fact, in the cases that we consider, this representation is irreducible. Okay. And the key idea is that this process is reversible, at least I mean in the main case that we are considering. So any copy of V inside K determines an abelian variety with the same P-torsion. And the isotypical piece of V inside a regular representation is canonically identified with B tensor B dual. And so this moduli space gets identified with the projective version of B dual. Okay. So already if you're able to prove this, you are saying that all the twisted moduli spaces are in fact rational. They're isomorphic to projective space. Okay. But now if you want to write down explicit formulas, you have to be able to find this isotypical piece inside K. Okay, so that's the main computational problem. We have one copy of V inside K given by the division polynomial. We want to find all the other copies of V inside K. Okay, so we will get back to this problem in a minute. Yeah, maybe let's say this remark that usually the representations that that come about for us are defined over the Peach cyclotomic field, and so we will always be working with the GABA group over the Peach cyclotomic field, and then we'll keep track of this in data. Okay, so now let's talk about elliptic curves to see how this idea plays out concretely. So let E be this elliptic curve. Let's first look at its two torsion. So its two torsion field is nothing but the splitting field of f of x, and it generically has GABA group S3, which is a symmetric group on 3 letters. Now the roots of this polynomial f of x, their sum is 0 because there is no x squared term, and so they generate a two-dimensional subspace. In fact, it is the unique two-dimensional irreducible representation of S3. Okay, and conversely, if you're given any copy of this representation inside K, you can look at the unique element of the scalars that is fixed by a chosen order 2 subgroup of S3. You can think about it as intersecting B with one of the 3 cubic fields. All the cubic fields are isomorphic. You're just intersecting with one of them, you get a one-dimensional space. So if you take any non-zero element, and if you look at its minimal polynomial and you consider the elliptic curve given by y squared equal to that polynomial, it has the same two torsion. And this procedure captures all such elliptic curves. Okay, so now what about 3 torsion? So here, the division polynomial that we look at, that one can look at, is this degree 8 polynomial. So its splitting field is the entire 3000 field, and it has GABA group SL2F3 over Q zeta 3. The roots of this polynomial generate a two-dimensional irreducible representation of this group. Okay, and then we are back to the same problem. How do we find the other copies of this representation inside this field? Okay. So in the p equal to 2 case, this was easy. The trace 0 condition already picks out the isotypical piece of B inside K. Here, there is no such easy way to do it. Okay, so that's our problem. We have an irreducible representation B inside K, and we want to find the V isotypical piece inside K. Okay, well, K is a field, and so this map induces a map from the symmetric algebra on B into K. So if we can find the B isotypical piece inside sim B, then we are good. Okay, and there is a nice class of groups called complex reflection groups for which there is a nice answer to this question. Okay, so this is the theorem of Chevalier, Shepard, and Todd. A pair consisting of a group and a representation is a complex reflection group if and only if the invariant algebra, that is the subalgebra of sim V fixed by G, is a polynomial algebra. That is, there should be some invariant elements in certain degrees which generate the invariant algebra, and there should not be any polynomial relation between the generating elements. Okay. And in such a situation, the B isotypical piece can be, it is just a free module over the invariant algebra of rank equal to the dimension of P. Okay. So in all the cases that we consider, we are exactly in the situation, except in the main case, we have to tweak it a little bit to get ourselves into the situation. And then we can exploit the invariant theory of these groups. Okay. So this is a little table showing the degrees in which the invariance and covariance lie. So these are the two main cases of elliptic curves that we talked about. 2000 of elliptic curves and 3000 of elliptic curves. So the groups are S3 and SL to F3. So in both these cases, we had a certain two-dimensionally reducible representation. So the pair becomes a complex reflection group. In the main case, G equals 2, P equals 3. If you just look at the GABA group of the 3000 field over the 3 cycloatomic field, you simply get sp4f3, and that's not a complex reflection group. Okay, with its direct product with the cyclic group of order 3 is a complex reflection group with a 4-dimensional irreducible reflection representation. Okay, so I'll tell you about where this extra Z mod 3Z comes from, but let's just take it on faith right now. Okay. So the second row gives the degrees in which the generators of the invariant algebra lie, and the third row gives the degrees in which the generators of the isotypical piece lies. These are what we are calling as covariant elements. Okay. Note that these are generators as algebra, whereas these are generators as modules over the invariant algebra. Okay. So if you have a copy of B inside K, then the invariants are going to immediately tell you the Weierstrass coefficients of the curve corresponding to that copy. Okay. So note that in the main case, the invariants are in degrees 12, 18, 24, and 30. And by going after these invariants, we find the main polynomials, capital A, B, C, D, in the main theorem. Okay, so finally, some remarks about our main case. And I want to also say how this differs from the genus 1 case. Okay. So let's see genus 2 curve given by this equation, and let delta denote its discriminant, and we are looking at its Jacobian. So there is a description of the group law on A in term where you think about a point in A as a pair of points in C. Okay. So using that description, one can find this degree 40 polynomial whose splitting field is the projective 3000 field. If you want the whole 3000 field, you have to look at the splitting field of this polynomial P40 of Z square. Okay, but neither of these polynomials are nice for our purposes. The polynomial that's nice for us is P40 of Z to the 6, this degree 240 polynomial. Okay. In fact, this polynomial occurs as a specialization of an 8-parameter polynomial that was studied by Shioda in his work on model Weyl lattices. Okay. So if you look at the splitting field of this polynomial, this is not quite the 3000 field. It is K adjoin the cube root of the discriminant. So this is where the extra factor of Z mod 3Z comes from. The GABA group of this field over the 3 cycloatomic field is this group. Okay, so this is a complex reflection group, and as I said before, this has a 4-dimensional irreducible reflection representation. In fact, the roots of this degree 240 polynomial are going to generate that representation. Okay. All right, and then you play the same game, you find the invariance, and that's how you get the main theorem. Okay, so because of this factor of Z mod 3Z, something unique happens. So in our family, this cubic field is also fixed. The cubic field Q adjoined the cube root of the discriminant, even though this is not contained in the 3000 field. Okay. So this is very unlike in the genus 1 case. In the genus 1 case, this cubic field is already contained within the 3000 field. Okay. But this is not really a problem because a genus 2 curve given by an equation of the form y squared equals a suppressed quintic also does not determine this cubic field. Okay. One can do some kind of scaling, keeping the isomorphism class of C the same. So for example, one can change x by t square, and one can change y by t to the 6. That changes the discriminant by t to the 40, and so this cubic field gets changed. Okay. So the original equation that you start with, that also does not determine this cubic field. So there is no problem and we're all good. Okay, so I think we'll stop there. Thank you for listening, and here are some references.